Everyone keeps asking what skills do Web3 founders want right now. But that question is actually wrong, because founders don't hire skills, they hire results. Results like moving people who don't know you to people who believe in you, to people who put their money on you. And here's one truth most creators, devs and marketers don't want you to know. That 90% of Web3 talents only know how to do one of these things, which is why they are underpaid, replaceable, and stuck. But in this video, I'll break down the 3 skills that actually matter in Web3, how founders secretly rank these skills, and where the real leverage is if you want to stop being just useful but necessary. This has always blown my mind, but 75% of you who watch my videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. Look, it doesn't hurt to hit on the subscribe button. Try it right now and see. Have you done that? Alright, let's move back to the video. So to make this very plain, I asked ChatGPT to list out at least 15 skills from the 3 different categories that I mentioned earlier. And these 3 different categories can also be called acquisition, retention, and conversion. That is, there are different skills that falls within acquisition, and there are different skills that fall within retention, and there are different skills that fall within conversion. And there are no skills that fall outside of these 3 categories. Either your skill is acquiring users for the community, or it's helping the community retain users, or it's helping the community convert their users into paying customers. These are the 3 categories where your skill will fall under. And as you can see here, ChatGPT explains it even further. The first one, acquisition, getting new users to the ecosystem or getting attention to the ecosystem. That's for acquisition. Then we have the retention, which explained as making users engaged and returning. That's the core central theme of retention as a skill. Then we have the conversion, which has to do with turning customers or turning users into paying customers. Now ChatGPT goes further to start listing the skills under the acquisition category. As you can see search engine optimization and a whole lot of different other skills. I know you might not really be conversant with some of these skills. These are very top skills, but then some skills that you might know in the Web3 space that still fall under this acquisition category is reply guy, for example. That's an acquisition skill, and what you're doing as a reply guy is you're bringing attention to a project in the replies on X or Twitter. And so what you're doing basically is you're acquiring users for the community, and it now depends on you to structure out a way for you to be able to carry out your reply strategy and position yourself properly to be able to be paid well. Because if you're going to be doing it like every other person, you're going to be paid very little. So you have to structure out a way for you to be able to do your reply strategy or reply method to be able to get structured and reliable results every time. And that is what will make you stand out. For example, SEO optimization, search engine optimization. What you're doing is you're basically helping projects to handle their websites, the contents on their website, in order for them to be able to rank on Google searches. And if they're ranking on Google searches, they would have more people that will discover their project on Google. And this is not Twitter. Maybe you just search for something on Google and a project is listed on the first page of Google. That is what you do as a search engine optimization or SEO writer. So that is very important. You're positioning in that category where you're helping users to notice a project, to bringing attention to a project. That is what you're doing in the acquisition category. Now, if you go through the other skills under this acquisition category, you'll be able to see influencer marketing, affiliate marketing. These are all geared towards acquiring attention to a protocol or project. If you now go for that, you see community building, and as we'll see later, you see that this community building is also found in the retention category. So there are some skills that you can find in these two categories, and once you find those type of skills, they are very important for you to pay attention to them, because it makes you, it puts you in a position where you are able to charge more, because you're not just acquiring users, but then you're acquiring users with that skill and also retaining users or keeping them engaged in the community. So it gives you more opportunity to be able to charge better than others, and it depends on how you position. So if you're a community manager, if you want to focus solely on engagement and helping users return into the community, you will not be paid as high as someone else who is helping the community acquire users and also managing the community. So a community manager or community moderator who knows how to acquire users for the community or the project and also helps to keep the community engaged will be paid better than a community moderator who just focuses on engagement in the community. So those are the nuances you need to take note of. Now, if you look at the retention aspect or retention category of skills, you'll be able to see different skills there. And one skill I want to point out in particular is this loyalty program design. And what that does, or what it means basically, is you are able to design incentives or loyalty for people to take action. And this can go a very long way in helping a community grow, depending on how well you run the loyalty program or you design the loyalty program, because a lot of projects need this. It can help in community growth or acquisition, and also to keep the community engaged and keep the community bubbling. So a lot of the skills, they are very relevant. It just lies on your hand to be able to position yourself and find that particular skill to where you can double down on and really find a space for yourself. Now, for the conversion aspects or category, conversion category of skills, that's when you find offer creation and A/B testing, copywriting. These are things that has to do with sales. So this is where conversion comes in. And even though not all skills are listed here, business development is found in this aspect also, in the conversion aspect, because it deals with getting capital in a project. So business development is in the conversion category of skills. Now, I further went on to ask ChatGPT to grade this category of skills on how much is being paid for this category of skills. And as you can see from the response here, conversion related roles are paid highest, followed by acquisition, and lastly the retention category of skills. So conversion category of skills that has to do with getting the customer or getting users to become paying customers is the highest paid, and it's very flexible in the sense that you can negotiate better, because you can decide not to be getting paid the same amount. You can negotiate based on how much conversion you are getting for the community. So that's why it's paid better, and most times the amount that is paid for the conversion roles is often not capped. There's no limit to how much you can earn for the conversion role, and then followed by the acquisition role, and this has to do with acquiring customers, acquiring users into a community. You know how much they pay for that, influencer marketing and all those other stuff. Now I'm not going to go much deeper into these skills any longer, but it's just to give you an overview of the kind of skills you should be trying to go for, or how you should be able to position yourself. This is the reason for this video. And I think for my last video I explained a little bit about business development, which falls under the conversion category of skills, and this is a skill where you can be paid very heavily because of the nuances that comes with it and the different ways where these skills can be applied. You can work for projects, you can work for investors, you can work for angel investors, you can work for VCs. So this BD skills gives you a lot of advantages. So if you want to learn more about it, there's a link in the description that will take you to the free course or the free beginner class where I explain the basics of what business development in the Web3 space is all about. And then if you feel that's something you can do in the Web3 space, there's an upgrade class or there's a paid class that would get you situated and get you earning very well as a business developer in the Web3 space, including VCs and investors to connect with. And also, if you have any question you want me to address, you can drop it in the comment section and I will take my time to do a video regarding that question, answering and addressing that question. And if you're connected with me personally on my WhatsApp space, and if you have a question, I'll be starting a Thursday trivia session where I'll be picking some questions I got within the week and making a video answering them and discussing about them every Thursday of every week. So if you have any question you want me to address personally and in full detail, just drop it in my inbox and I'll get on with it.